So England then get us away in this important World Cup tie here in Istanbul. The first time the two nations have met in over 100 years. The Turks, for the record, without a win in their last 4 games. Indeed, they've scored only 1 goal in those 4 games. Bobby Robson on the right there, with the England subs behind him. Bobby looking very tense when he came to that dugout 5 minutes or so ago, well aware that with a really big and hostile crowd here in Istanbul, the first priority is to concede absolutely nothing in a vital opening 20 minutes. The Turks played poorly against Finland. The belief is that they could never play as poorly again. Rajic. And again, Robson winning the ball, getting Woodcock to chase after that one. And Woodcock winning it, or at least he appeared to win it, but also appeared to be pulled back by Kemal, the number 4. Yusuf. Ridvan playing it inside, but the number 10, Elias, was not there. It's with Williams for England. Anderson. Foul that time on Peter Weir, the free kick to England. I can't understand why Bobby Robson wanted a bold performance with a lot of balls played in the air to Peter Weir, because they don't seem to be such a physically a very big side, the Turks. That's a goal kick. Foul there on Erdal. Williams tripping him as he went past him. I think it was purely accidental. Right. With. But Ahmed is back. Williams there first, with some very good control. Robson, Wilkins. Sanson caught out there by Ridvan. And he's quick. But Butcher, thankfully for England, was just as quick. This is Ismail with the throw. And the fullback coming up for another throw. Rajic to Ahmed. Good swift challenge by Wilkins, won the ball. Woodcock getting it back. The challenge is going in a bit thick and fast there. And the one by Brian Robson is penalised, giving the Turks another free kick. Rajic. Yusuf. Here's Cem. Barnes. Right to Anderson. Another free kick. At the same time, I think, Ray, England looking reasonably composed about most of the work they're doing.
Yes, I think so, Brian. I think whenever they're getting a chance, they're knocking the ball around and trying to get plenty of touches the ball and try and quieten the Turkish crowd, which we've already seen one or two little signs of them moaning already. I think it's also interesting that Viv Anderson, so far in the first 10 minutes, has already got forward 3 times down the right-hand side, and that is something that obviously Bob Robson has said for him to do.
I think looking crosses from Anderson from the right and Barnes from the left towards Peter Wiz.
I would think so, yes. Obviously, when you're playing somebody like Peter Wiz on the side, you've got to get balls into the box for him.
Well, it's a bit of defending at the moment. It comes to Erdal, a lad who played in West Germany, on the ball at the moment with Borussia Dortmund. But right, Woodcock. And a long ball played back to Jem. Ahmed. Now here's the one they've got to watch. It's Elias, the number 10. This is the number 3, Youssef. Barnes. Played on again for Wiz, but it was a bad ball for him. It gave him little chance. And Jem, the skipper, finds Ahmed. Jem again, who played left back against Finland in the first game here, and is now pressed in the service as a central defender because of Abdel Karim's injury in training yesterday. Another free kick to Turkey. All the decisions at the moment seem to be going the way of the Turks. Ahmed. Erdal. Rajit. Well, that doesn't reach his man, and Woodcock looking for Robson right up there. This will come for Wilkins. Trying to clip it wide again for Woodcock. Cut out by Rajid. Kemal. And back to the big goalkeeper, Yashar. Right. Anderson to Wilkins. Butcher. Keeping things nice and calm. Careful possession. And Butcher again looking towards Peter Wiz. It'll come out for Williams. Right. Suddenly all the Turks were attacking the ball, but they left one back, which was Ridvan, playing everybody on side. And Barnes doing well to get it through to Kenny Sanson, and his cross deflected behind for England's corner. Which Wilkins will take. And obviously, there's not so many tall men in the Turkish side. It's right for people like Anderson and Mark Wright to come forward. And Butcher, of course, as well, 6'4" of him. And it was Butcher who got the header in. And Barnes also. And England has scored. And Brian Robson has played a captain's part with a goal for England inside the first 10 minutes.
Yes, a good goal there by Robson, typical of the way that he scores goals for his club as well. Only sees the ball, throws himself in there where a lot of players are worried about getting injured, but Brian doesn't. He threw himself in there. And as you rightly said, obviously the Turks are struggling a little bit in the air, and they're found very much wanting on that particular situation.
Also, you talk about Brian Robson facing injury. I think he got a nasty crack on the ribs. He was coming back, and in fact, in the centre circle, you won't see it at the moment, is holding his ribs as though he has injured himself a little bit, but he's soldiering on. But a great early blow for England then. 1-0. 13 minutes in point of fact was the actual score time. Got a great strike record for England as Robson, with 39th cap this, and that's his 12th goal. For a midfielder, that is some rate of striking. Another free kick to Turkey. But again, it was the height of the English players in that penalty area. The keeper, Yashar, was beaten in the air by Butcher. Barnes was also in there. And Robson finishing it off. Robson in there again. And Elias almost wriggling his way through, but the ball back is Shilton, who's had nothing to do so far. Anderson. Well, the England camp, I would have thought, fairly well pleased with that. You wouldn't have noticed Bobby Robson in the picture in the bench there. For some reason, Bob's sitting on a trackside seat all on his own. Right towards Barnes. Wiz trying to get in there too. But now it's Ridvan for Turkey. Oh, well, that was tough for him. And that'll give you an idea of how much rain we've had here in the last 24 hours or so. The ball sticking there, and Wiz might get in there. The keeper's got it and lost it. And was in all sorts of trouble there from John Barnes's cross. And England at the moment having a very good spell as Williams now seeks to get Wiz away. But Yusuf there for Turkey. And now for Cem. Ahmed. Stopped by Williams. Well, the England subs there. Gary Stevens, Gary Bailey, Steve Hunt, Trevor Francis, and Mark Chamberlain. Rajic. Hustled by Butcher and beaten by him, and suddenly Woodcock's on his way, and it's scored! And it's the second goal for England, a mighty blow. And it was Terry Butcher who suddenly popped up in a surprising midfield position, and a lovely ball through to Tony Woodcock, and rifled it between the post and the goalkeeper. 2 goals for England in 16 minutes. Ray Clement.
I think that showed the lack of understanding in the Turkish side, to be honest. Rajic there had no idea what he was going to do with the ball. Stood on it for a second too long, and we got the tackle in, and then Tony finished very, very clinically, giving the keeper no chance. He's got tremendous power on that left foot, and there's not many keepers can stop him from that sort of distance when Tony hits them correctly. But I think at the moment, Turkey are looking very, very disorganised and very, very dishevelled, and it's only a great omen for England, 2-0 up, and we could go on to get a really decent score here today.
You're tempting Providence, you know. I think the great thing we want to see is to make sure we consolidate and give absolutely nothing away, because you get the feeling with this crowd behind them even now, were they to get one, they could still be a problem.
I also get the feeling with this crowd, though, that if they don't get one in the next 5 minutes, they'll be after the Turkish players next.
Well, here's Mark Wright. A really magnificent start, and carrying on at the moment where England left off against Finland at Wembley. Jim getting it away to Ahmed. But again, Robson was in first. Here's Wilkins. And a long way back by Mark Wright to Peter Shilton. Well, I'm sure it would have been beyond the wildest dreams of Bobby Robson to come here and find ourselves 2 goals up in 16 minutes. Well, that wasn't a very clever back pass. And Wilkins, I must say, with his boot very high on the Turkish goalkeeper. The Turkish keeper was none too pleased with that. Yashar. Elias getting it back to Cem. This work again by Butcher, Wilkins, and now Robson, and again Woodcock on his run, but this time the flag is up on the far side for offside. Elias getting there as Butcher got there just a fraction of a second before him. Williams. so important for England that they make this superiority count now. Woodcock. Barnes, no way through at the moment at any rate. But Barnes, oh, brilliant. And a lovely cross in there, but this time the keeper's there. But a fine piece of skill by John Barnes. And of course in this World Cup qualifying it's so important that you win your home games, but my word, it helps so much if in the course of those home wins you can also get a convincing victory away from home. If you just joined us, England with 20 minutes of the game gone here in Istanbul, leading by 2-0. Brian Robson and Tony Woodcock the scorers. Barnes. Well, he's got past Ismail, but the fullback got back in the end to dispossess Barnes. But at the moment they don't really know, the Turks, and there's a bit of arm waving going on the Turkish bench. The gentleman with the moustache on the right is the manager, Candan Tarhan, who in fact speaks perfect English and spent 5 years at Leeds University as a textile engineer. Again, the Turks have sprung a few forward. Kemal's there, Ahmed, Rajid, Erdal pushes long legs, giving England some breathing space there. Kemal again. Ahmed. This time Mark Wright is there, a little dummy, gives him the yard he wants, and the sanctuary of a pass back to Peter Shilton. Anderson. Forward again for Woodcock. Williams. Challenged unfairly that time by Erdal. Free kick to England. Williams, in fact, got an important role to play here today. As Bobby Robson was explaining yesterday, we're so strong down the left side. It's so important that he gives balance on the right and doesn't go chasing the ball. Well, he's stuck very firmly to a midfield right side position in a good and disciplined way, and it's Viv Anderson now with the free kick towards Peter With, winning it in the air as Robson wanted him to do. Woodcock back for Williams again that little chip towards Peter With, and again he wins it in the air, but that time there's a foul and a free kick. It's with Erdal. Ahmed. Anderson holding off the number 7 Mujtaf. England very well received here. 2 or 3 days they've been here, except that last night there were something like 100 fans who were chanting and getting their car horns working at something like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning. Checked with 1 or 2 of the players this morning. 1 or 2 were disturbed by it. Certainly didn't help this commentator's sleep pattern, I can tell you, but England have silenced virtually the whole of this Turkish crowd so far with these 2 early goals. But here's Ismail. Behind Peter Shilton's goal, a matter of 400 or 500 yards away, we have the Bosphorus. And within our sight also Asia. Curious thing that the England's team hotel was in Europe and the training on the first day was across the bridge in Asia. It's a free kick for the foul on Woodcock. Again, the big men are up there, Wright and Butcher. But it's a goal kick. been an infringement there as Woodcock went for that header. It's a free kick that's been given. Butcher. Anderson. Bobby Robson still sitting alone on the track side, presumably because he couldn't see all that well from the bench. Anderson lifting it forward again. Wilkins with a lovely little touch there for Williams. Played inside towards the marauding Robson. And again, England win a challenge there, and he finds Barnes, but in the end, it's Ridvan who gets it back to his goalkeeper, Yashar. Kemal. The big number 3, Yusuf. Turks, of course, also have Jupp Derval, the former West German team manager, as a consultant here. He's a club coach here at the moment. Sanson with the throw to Butcher. He's really played a great part for England, Terry Butcher, so far. He was certainly involved in all that heading that led to the first goal, and it was his pass to Woodcock that led to the second. If you just joined us, that is the good news, that England are leading here in Istanbul by 2-0.
I think Ray Wilkins as well has had tremendous influence in this first half. He's encouraging, he's pushing forward, closing people down when he needs to. When he's getting the time, he sprints and lovely passes around.
Now Ahmed for Turkey. Butcher's long legs again there, and safely back to Shilton. Something like 31 minutes gone. Foul on Peter Wiz. A free kick to England.
I think that might be the only way Yusuf can stop Peter Wiz playing, I think.
I don't think Peter would ever shirk the physical challenge, though, will he?
Oh, no, no way.
Wilkins, or rather Williams, playing it high and comfortably for the keeper. Rajit. Lujtat. Rajit. Terry Butcher and John Barnes. Right. Robson. Lovely ball there by Robson for Barnes. Well, happy for England, John Barnes caught offside. Like 12 minutes to go to half-time now. England leading 2-0. Jem getting the ball through to the number 10, Elias. Jem again. Elias once more. Stopped by Williams, and a lovely ball by Williams releasing Peter Wiz. Woodcock's waiting in the middle, and it might come to him in the end. It's Yusuf, but it's not away yet. The keeper only half palming it away. And now it's with Wilkins. Right. Well, This time Anderson taking up the attack. Will he keep it in play? A goal kick. Butcher. So easy for him to get above Ridvan. He's almost got a foot on him in height. Sanson to Mark Wright to Viv Anderson, and an offside flag against Peter Wiz. Rajit slipping and challenged and forced in the end to play the ball back. Williams finding Peter Wiz. There's a chance now for Turkey to spring forward, and again they have 5 men coming up. This is Rajid playing the ball back to Ahmed. Sanson cutting it out well for England. Kemal and Sanson. Wilkins finding Butcher. In turn back to his keeper. And with 35 minutes gone, Ray Clements, your old friend Peter Shilton without a shot to save as yet.
No, it is quite chilly here, and I would think that he's feeling the cold at the moment. I think he's only touched the ball about 3 times in this half, but I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that, because the people in front of him have done everything very safely and very comfortably and caused him no problems at all.
Well, here come Turkey again. And it's the break by Mujtab. Now Ahmed and Butcher very safely and comfortably away again. With just touching it on, but only Woodcock's up there. Yusuf, Ahmed. This is the man who used to play in Holland with Den Haag. Erdal, who used to play in Germany. And the foul there by Erdal. England taking that free kick very quickly. With Kenny Sanson. Barnes. And now Wright. Williams. And Woodcock. And Williams' pass not reaching Anderson. Erdal for Turkey. Kemal. Rajid. Ridvan, nothing going right for him at the moment. A throw to England. Sanson with it. Butcher. Wilkins, who, as Ray Clements was saying, has had such an influence on this first half. Spraying it wide here for Kenny Sanson, but kiss of death time that, Ray.
Very difficult to judge the wind out there, isn't it?
Jem trying to switch the play to the far side to Mujdat. Anderson in first. Buildup. Ahmed. Rajit. Ahmed, the little touch again for the number 6, Rajit. Buildup. It's not a bad cross coming in, but it was straight at Williams. Away towards Wiz. Just wonder whether Brian Robson is struggling a little bit. He doesn't, when he scored his goal, he came back clutching his chest as though he'd hurt his ribs, and he doesn't seem to be quite the influence that he normally is on the side at the moment, Ray.
No, maybe he's put a lot of work in this first 40 minutes of the game, and maybe he's just taking a little breather before the second half. He's made a lot of forward runs even after he scored the goal, and I think Brian at times tends to give the impression that he's looking a little tired, but deep down he's still full of running and influence on the game.
Well, here he is again. A free kick.
Maybe the one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in the first half is I think that Barnes has got the running of this Ismail, and we haven't really got the ball out to him enough. At times there's been a position to give him the ball, but we've turned away and played it into the centre of midfield.
Hanson. England throw. Kenny Sanson with it. Coming to the last 5 minutes of the first half now. It's with Woodcock. Trying to wriggle his way through again, but there were too many red and white shirts there on that occasion. And Kemal getting the ball through to Erdal, but instantly there were 2 England defenders there, 3 in point of fact, and it's Williams. My word, there's a fair old tussle going on there. And I think there have been 1 or 2 niggles earlier on in this first half that I've noticed involving Erdal, and he was clearly intent on getting his own back there. But in the meantime, he's given away the free kick, and England get the throw of Viv Anderson. And the ITV team there in all their glory. But maybe we should be watching the play because it's with Anderson again. Elias trying to get Ridvan away. Butcher's there with him, but he's got the beating of Butcher this time, and this youngster's got such pace, but Butcher also. And in fact, the linesman giving the free kick there for the foul by Terry Butcher on Ridvan, and a free kick to Turkey with 3 minutes to go to half-time. Wiz has come back to add height and power to any defensive qualities that may be needed. Elias. Erdal saying keep it low, a little thick on, and in the end it was Robson who got it away. Ismail trying to get it back in there once more. Robson cleverly to Wilkins, and carefully and casually almost back to Peter Shilton. And Ray Wilkins also running towards the referee, complaining about some of the Turkish tackling. 2.5 minutes to half-time. England leading by 2-0. Well, our commentary position is a very good one, but it's right in amongst the crowd, as you can see, with Ray Clements there. And enjoying it so far, I think, Ray.
Oh, quite definitely, yes. It's as good a start as we could possibly have hoped for, and I can still going on for bigger and better things here this afternoon.
Wilkins with the free kick after Barnes had jumped over it. It'll come out for Stephen Williams. Oh, and he might go all the way. And it's there. Well, Woodcock and Robson followed it in. And it was Robson, I think, who got the touch after Williams had made a glorious break. And the keeper had half saved it, and both Robson and Woodcock pounced on that chance and made it 3-0 for England. Ismail. And again to Ridvan, who just a moment ago looked as though he might be threatening England. Ismail again with a throw. Rajid. Ismail. And back safely to Shilton. Well, the half-time whistle goes. And what an excellent first half by England. Brian Robson scoring the goal after 13 minutes to got them on the way. Woodcock with a finely taken second one after some good work by Butcher. And then after Steve Williams had forced the keeper to push the shot against the post, it was Robson who got the touch that made it 3-0 to England. Turkey 0, England 3, the half-time situation then here in Istanbul.
Yes, England 3 up at half-time, and England really should be very delighted indeed with that.
Oh, I would have thought so. I mean, they're playing remarkably well, actually. We talked about confidence at the start of the game, Steve. I think that's what's happening now in every department. They're better, they're tackling well. They're far superior side than the Turks, that's obvious, and it really is showing.
Well, because of the Turkish coverage, we haven't had a chance to see any replays of the England goal, so let's do that right now. First of all, the goal by Brian Robson that got us underway.
Yes, it was a good goal, this. Obviously, it was a bit of a Mickey Mouse effort by the keeper, who will be nameless, not because I can't pronounce his name, but I should think he'll want to remain anonymous. But you can see Brian really goes in very well. And he does get hurt in going in, and that's the type of player he is in those situations, and it really led to a great start. The second goal was this is another aspect we were talking about. Good tackle by Terry Butcher. Poorly marked Tony Woodcock here, Steve, but nevertheless he had to tuck that ball away, and he did very well, hard and low. Best possible place a striker can ever put the ball, and he did it exactly right. Third goal coming up, well, there's Butch, who's been in the picture all the time. He really has had an outstanding game. Again, a half-cleared effort by a pretty poor defence. And you can see Stevie Williams taking him on there. Lovely little dink over. He did everything right there. Keeper got his hand to it. Robson followed it in, and if I'd have been Tony Woodcock, I'd have been absolutely choked that I weren't there first. But it just fell nicely for Brian Robson. But it was lovely to see two players following the ball in and not standing there watching it.
Indeed. And England 3 up at half-time. That's a very healthy situation for England in Istanbul. 3-0 they lead at half-time. The second half coming right after this break. Welcome back to Midweek World Cup Special. Out in Istanbul, England are leading Turkey by 3-0 at half-time in the England dressing room. Hopes of a hatful of goals in the second half. We'll rejoin Ray Clements and Brian Moore.
Welcome back to Istanbul then, as we await the start of the second half with the news that the Turks have brought on a substitute, Hazan, the number 15, who is about to kick off. And it's Elias, the number 10, who's gone off. Well, England manager Bobby Robson said that above all else, he wanted a bold performance here by England today. In the first half, it's been a masterful one that's given them a 3-goal lead, 2 by Robson, 1 by Woodcock. And here's Anderson now. And in fact, in fairness, the Turkish crowd recognised that. They applauded England warmly onto the field when they came back for the second half, which contrasted sharply with the boos that the Turkish side had as they left the field from their own supporters. Yusuf getting it back to his keeper, Yasha. Rajik. Hassan. Probably will get as little change out of Terry Butcher as Elias did. And Peter Shilton here, a Turkish journalist at half-time, tapped me on the back and said, Ray Clements is working harder this afternoon than Shilton. Well, it's a change, I suppose. But, Peter's had nothing to do, obviously. But I'm sure he'll be just as tired as everybody else at the end, because he had to concentrate for so hard with absolutely nothing to do in the first half of the game. Well, it's Jem with the free kick. A long one looking for Hassan, and the foul by Mark Wright on the substitute gives the Turks a free kick. England with its 3-goal lead, but knowing full well that they mustn't give the Turks even a sniff of anything that might suggest a goal, because this crowd will react. They missed what might have been a chance there as it comes through the Butcher, but here's Rashid again, but hit too powerfully, and a goal kick. Butcher. It's Sansom with the throw for England. A long one, but it didn't reach with because Jem is there, but Jem gives the ball away as Sansom finds Robson. In turn, it's with John Barnes. Played inside again for Brian Robson. Ahmed is back there to stop things developing. Sansom with the throw. Robson. Wilkins. Anderson. With a nice touch there for Robson, who's got Woodcock waiting in the middle. And Barnes coming up on the far side. Number 4. A brilliant break by England in the first 3 minutes of the second half, producing the 4th goal. And some lovely work on the right involving Brian Robson. And in the end, Barnes coming steaming in at the far post to make it 4. Ray Clement.
The marvellous touch by Peter With, though, wasn't it? The ball was played into him and he flicked it through his legs right into Brian Robson's path. And all full credit to John Barnes for coming in that far post position, which is so dangerous. But it's a great cross from Brian Robson, and probably needs the better ball actually being from Peter Wood, because it's a marvellous touch to put Brian Robson clear.
Wilkins finding Anderson. And here's Williams now for England. And they're having a certain trouble getting that away, and only at the expense of a corner. I should just explain to you, if you are looking for a slow motion replay each time, that service apparently doesn't exist on this particular day, at this particular event, so far as Turkish television is concerned, so we apologize for that. It'll be Barnes then with the corner for England. Kicked in there towards Peter With. They got it away with some difficulty. Woodcock on the turn now. Hassan finding Ismail. And Butcher stretching out his legs again as Ridvan gets it in this time. Helped by Sanson. Good control by Terry Butcher. And away come England again. Sanson. Ismail. Only John Barnes' second goal for England. The first, that memorable one, of course, against Brazil in Rio. But that certainly was a well-taken goal here again today. Offside for the moment against both Peter With and Tony Woodcock. A free kick to Turkey. Yusuf to Jem. Ahmed. Now Mujdat. Erdal. Good play by Wright. Good control by Wright, but the pass to Robson didn't quite come off. And Rashid finds Hussain. And Anderson prevents the corner, but Turkey get the throw. And glum faces on that Turkish bench. Ridvan with the throw for Turkey. Erdal. Stopped again by Wright. And a free kick given against Turkey. Somebody just digging their elbows into Wright's ribs, I fancy, as he chased that ball. And certainly the central defenders, although they've not been under a lot of pressure, Ray Clements, Terry Butcher and Mark Wright have done everything that Bobby Robson must have hoped.
Yes, they seem to be getting into a good understanding with the two of them now. Terry Butcher in particular has looked so calm and sure in absolutely everything that he's done. And, you know, constructively he's got the ball, and I don't think he's given the ball away all the game. And in this last 2 or 3 minutes just showed a marvellous piece of skill in the left-back position, really, which typified the way he's been playing all the game.
Well, Bobby Robson back on the bench now with Don Howe. Fred Street, the physio, on the right. And Bobby, I would have thought, he can get off. In fact, he was on the track side because he couldn't see a way to his left. But now with England attacking to the right, and that's where most of the action is, he gets a perfect view from the bench. Well, in the centre of the picture there, two very satisfied gentlemen, I would think, Don Howe and Bobby Robson. Which that, but so easily cut out by Wilkins. Robson, now Wright, calmly back to Shilton. And Barnes might come in again. Yes! It's number 5. Well, the England defender's looking back at Peter Shilton, and I suppose he'll claim the assist for that one. A massive kick by the goalkeeper. Peter With again involved. And Barnes may be a lucky ricochet, but for all that, the ball for the 5th time this afternoon finishes in the back of the Turkish net. And the second goal of this second half for John Barnes. Barnes, and now it's Sanson. I have to say at half-time, Ray, you were saying to me this game could finish 5 or 6.
Well, that's right, yes, and it's 5 so far and a long way to go yet. My only worry is that the Turks might get so frustrated they might try and take it into their hands to be a little bit physical, because this result virtually guarantees they won't go to Mexico anyway.
Yes, remembering, of course, they've already lost at home to Finland, and I think if you lose a couple of home games, you really have a struggle on your hand. England, of course, with, well, obviously now coasting towards their second victory. 5 against Finland, 5 now against Turkey. I mean, apart from anything else, their goal difference is going to be astonishing. With a header. John Barnes, 2 players today now on a hat-trick, Barnes and Robson. And now Mark Wright getting back before Erdal safely to Peter Shilton. And again, the kick forward by him, this time finding Tony Woodcock. Well, I was telling you about the hostile crowd here. They've largely been silenced now. A crowd of something like 45,000. The best seat in the stadium, £3, and for standing, 80p. I would have thought that for a lot of them, that is money that has been thrown away, except that if they're good sports, they will have enjoyed a really excellent England performance, even though Ray Wilkins there has conceded the free kick. Ismail with the free kick, with a header. Oh, that was given away by Robson. To Ridvan. Hanson holding him at bay with some support by Robson, and the play, the ball was still in play, then going out for the throw to Turkey. Ridvan with it. And our corner. Ridvan playing it deep for Ishmael. Erdal, foul there by Viv Anderson, I think it was. And the trainer on. I think just a moment, Ray, for us to think maybe about this England performance. As I say, 5 against Finland, 5 against Turkey now. It's obvious that there is the makings of a side here.
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. To score 5 goals away from home against anybody, no matter what the standard of them, it takes a good performance.
Let's talk about that in a moment. Here comes the free kick. And the ball out of play. The qualities you see in this England side now.
Well, they seem to be getting a settled side. They've had to make 2 changes today because of injuries, but apart from that, they're all starting to get to know what each other's strengths and weaknesses are, and playing more as a club team now.
Well, there's a good ball by Woodcock for Williams, and now for Barnes, but the flag is up. Yes, I think if there's been a criticism of Bobby Robson from the start of his reign, it has that he's been making too many changes. But now, at least, helped, I think, probably by the South American tour to a certain extent, he's now getting together the side that he clearly has in his mind as the side.
Well, that's right, yes, and I think all the successful sides certainly get their 11 best players together in the year or 18 months before the World Cup. They're not looking to do it in the last 6 months. And if this side can stay together, as its play as well as it is doing at the moment, then we could be in for a very promising World Cup. There's a few games to go before we actually go.
Yes, indeed. But here's Wilkins. Played again for Robson, who's onside and gets his hat-trick magnificently. What a brilliant goal for England, taking the score to 6. Well, this is an absolute riot now, and what a superb goal. Wilkins very much involved, and what a great run by Brian Robson. And not only the run, the magnificent piece of finishing as well. Robson's hat-trick, England's 6th. Ray?
Well, I'm starting to feel a little bit sorry for the Turkish goalkeeper now. He only conceded 4 goals in the last 10 games until he came in today. He's certainly finding out what it's like playing as real forwards now, I think.
Superb goal, though.
Oh, an absolute marvellous goal. I mean, that's typified, the creator and the fellow who took it in Brian Robson. Ray Wilkins had a superb game, a marvellous through ball. Put a stop on the ball, really, when it bounced up, and then Robson finished it in the style that we all know he can finish those chances with.
A free kick to Turkey. Ahmed. With. Well, if you rub your eyes when you come in, if you just joined us to see this scoreline at 6-0, it's no more than England deserve. It's been a truly remarkable performance by them. And one you can be sure that will get European football buzzing to follow that fine victory against Finland. With this one here, we suddenly in Europe maybe have become the side to fear. Now Yusuf for Turkey. To Hazan. Robson, having scored 3 goals, now acting as the defender. Ridvan getting it back to Ishmael. But the game really can't end quickly enough, I would have thought, for the Turks now.
No, I would think so. I think we'll be seeing in the next 10 or 15 minutes a big majority of this crowd leaving. And it's a good job they did a lot of shouting before the game, because since the game's been on, they've had very little to shout about at all.
Well, Ishmael, who in fact scored with a 40-yard shot in his club side at the weekend, but that was a little free kick he played short. And Anderson, who will cut it out and find Ray Wilkins. That's a lovely ball there. And Anderson on the break now. Played inside again for Woodcock. And it's another one. I don't believe it. It's 7 now. No wonder Tony Woodcock's smiling. And no wonder Wilkins and Anderson are there, because they were involved so superbly. Wilkins holding up the pass as Anderson made yet another devastating run, picked up Tony Woodcock, and there was a magnificent piece of finishing.
The way this game's going at the moment, there could be a few arguments over the match ball at the end.
There could be. And the Turkish manager there with the moustache, I would have thought now, just wonders what on earth has hit his side, Mr. Kandan Sohal. And here we go again. Woodcock, he's looking for a hat-trick now, and only just saved by the outstretched hands of the goalkeeper. Some ironic cheers to the Turkish crowd there for the keeper who saved one then. Although, in fairness, he's had little chance, maybe apart from the first goal, with some really clinical English finishing. In fact, you have to keep looking at the scoreboard, really, to believe it is 7-0. Ridwan. Erdal going through, but Swanson holding him off. Be nice to keep a clean sheet.
I think at half-time, Brian, we were a little bit worried that the game might die in the second half with having those 3 goals in the first half, and in fact the game has got even more entertaining and exciting in the second half.
Gary Stevens made a run on the right, plenty of activity up front. But then Francis losing out as Ridvan leaves it for Ahmed. Sanson's ball. Robson, Wilkins, quite a nice little movement the Turks are putting together, but it falls down again, and Mark Wright comes charging forward for England. Anderson, Stevens, Raji, Ismail, good, strong and a fair challenge by Terry Butcher. What a game he's had, releasing John Barnes. Wilkins, Stevens, so many available. Francis is one of them, a lovely little drag back, and he's put Anderson in. And a corner. Actually, the defender clipped Anderson's heel as he was about to shoot, but he just about regained his balance. Lovely move again, Ray Clement.
Marvellous move, but as you say, I think actually if the score had been 0-0 there, Viv might have gone down there, because I think it was a definite penalty. Viv felt he could keep his feet and still managed to get a shot on target.
Barnes with a corner. Now Trevor Francis. And now John Barnes. Robson making the interception. Goal kick. Ridvan. Robson. Offside. The next World Cup game for England is not until February, when they play Northern Ireland. I think after a performance like this, the one thing they'd want is to keep together and play as often as they possibly could. Well, the free kick here for Turkey. Erdal, Jim, and Kemal are behind it. Mujtad. Seven minutes left. Played for Ismail. Some rises, noises coming from the Turkish crowd for that one. And they're drifting away in their hundreds now. Stanton. Played in nicely by Wilkins for Robson, and in turn for Francis. A little flick on this time for Stevens. White shirts are lining up in that area now. And Butcher was arriving a bit late, looking to get a whack on goal, which he richly deserved, but it didn't come that way, and instead it's Ridvan taking the battle to England. Erdal waiting in the middle. Well, it might come from Mujtad. No, it comes in the end for John Barnes. And now Robson. A lot of space on the right here. Oh, and he miscued there, Robson. There was a lot of space there for Francis. 5 minutes left. Turkey 0, England 7. Which is pass not reaching Robson. Still gives Hassan possession. Mujtad. Ahmed. Mark Wright is up. And a corner that came off an England defender. It was a great little run there by Kemal, when just for once there was a moment of hesitancy in the English defence.
Yeah, I think Peter was going mad at his defenders in front. When you're 7-0 in front, it's very, very difficult to keep the concentration of everybody in front. And I think on one occasion there, Ray Wilkins actually did lose his concentration and let number 4 get in for his shot.
Francis losing out to Erdal. Well, the man who's had nothing to do had to wait until 86 minutes had gone. And it was a nice little shot there down at his feet for him, really, wasn't it, Ray?
Well, as I say, been uninvolved for all this time, and then he gets a shot right at his feet. And so the conditions are not good out there. It's very slippery, the ball, and as usually he's got hold of the ball and made it look no problem at all, really.
Well, here's Francis hoping to create problems at the other end. The ball coming off for number 7, Mujtad, for the corner. Barnes with that corner. Wiz and Butcher at the near post. Anderson's come up from the back post as well. Well, and it's Viv Anderson who gets the goal. And England go up to 8. The corner taken, the flick on, and at the back post, Viv Anderson putting it into the net. His first goal for England, in point of fact. And the 8th for England today. Ahmed. A free kick to Turkey. About 2.5 minutes left. Svensson. Robson. Not satisfied yet. Got 8, looking for 9, but Ismail making the interception on that occasion, getting it back to his keeper. Summing up this performance, Ray?
Well, I think it's obviously been an excellent team performance to come here and win by this many number of goals. I don't think we've got to go overboard, because obviously, as we said at the start, the Turks, when they lost those early goals, their heads have gone down and gone. I mean, they're right on the floor now, but still to come anywhere and put in a performance like this. And I think the beautiful thing is that we've made chances and we've finished a high percentage of them, which has always been a criticism of England teams. They make chances and don't take their fair proportion of them. But today, they've made a lot of chances and they've taken a lot of chances as well, and that's the most pleasing thing, I would think, for English football.
Well, here are Turkey still looking for something. Kemal with a cross, but it's half stopped by Anderson, cleared by Wright. About 90 seconds left. Handball by Gary Stevens, a free kick to Turkey. Yes, it's the easiest thing in the world to say this is a weak Turkish side. They still have to be beaten. And far from just being beaten, they've been pulverised today by a truly masterful England performance. Bobby Robson said he wanted England to be bold. Their answer is they've been brilliant. Just have this corner to face now. Certainly would be nice to go away with a clean sheet, and Sanson has got this one away. And Francis now on the break. Now let's look at the pace. Let's look at the support. Wilkins coming up, Wiz coming up. Francis has gone past his fullback. Yusuf plays it back for Barnes. Now there are a few Turks back, and the pass back to Trevor Francis was away off the target. And that is the final whistle. The last moments of a truly remarkable and brilliant performance by England, winning here in Turkey by 8-0, with Brian Robson getting a hat-trick, 2 for Tony Woodcock, 2 for John Barnes, and 1 right at the end for Viv Anderson. So it means that 13 goals have been scored by England in their 2 World Cup games so far against Finland and Turkey, and not a single solitary goal has been conceded. And the Turkish crowd, in fact, applauding England off, very sportingly indeed, knowing that their side has been well and truly beaten.
Great stuff. 8 goals for England, the best away performance since England put 10 past the United States in 1964. It's taken England to the top of the Group 3 table on goal difference, but what goal difference? An advantage of 16 over second place Finland. Finland and Northern Ireland play tonight, and Finland have the chance to go back to the top if they win or draw. Nevertheless, a very happy situation for England, and Brian Moore is talking to the England manager, Bobby Robson.
Bob, your reaction to what was presumably a marvellous performance for you and for the team as a whole?
Yes, well, I mean, I never thought I would ever win an international football match 8-0 and think we've let them off the hook, because really we could have gone into double figures. But it's been a great team performance. Everyone's played very well. It wasn't easy at 2 o'clock. You saw the atmosphere here, a really aggressive home crowd. And we knew we had to quell the crowd by scoring early goals. That was the aim, to make sure we didn't concede in the first 20 minutes, otherwise we would have been in a difficult fight. But to try and score as early as we could, and to go for the early goal, because we felt that would quieten the crowd and sedate the team as well and push us on.
There was so much composure in your side in the early stages, that was the thing as well.
Yes, well, we've got some good international experienced players now. Some 1 or 2 younger players who have had a bit of experience, and it's a good mix. And it's about the 3rd time we've played together now, so it's coming nicely.
Since you became England manager, this must be the greatest day, I think, doesn't it?
Well, it all helps, doesn't it? Yes, I mean, it's nice. I'm pleased with the country. Everybody's sitting at home watching it this afternoon. People in cars listening to the radio, you know. We've done it for them.
Yeah, great day for Bobby Robson. Jimmy Greaves, I think 8 goals was beyond even your wildest dreams, wasn't it?
There's not much you can say about it, is there? I think Bob said it all, really. Eight, yeah, one wouldn't have expected to see England get 8 out there. Turkey are a third-rate side, but third-rate sides have to be beaten, and sometimes that's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. They played brilliantly today. There's no question about that. It really was an outstanding performance, one of the best, I would say, for a long, long time.
Perhaps didn't miss Mark Hateley, as you suggested at the start of the programme. Ray Clements was saying that the finishing was magnificent.
Well, the finishing was great. Bobby makes the point there that he feels that they were let off the hook. It could have been double figures. When you score 8, it could always be 10 or 12. The finishing was great. Peter With didn't actually score a goal, but he certainly had a part in a lot of them and played extremely well, as they all did. I was a bit disappointed with Peter Shilton, mine, but there you are.
Never happy. Jimmy Greaves, thanks very much indeed. Well, very shortly, Bobby Robson and Brian Moore will be boarding a plane in Istanbul, and they'll be coming straight to the midweek sports special studio for 10:45 tonight. As well as England highlights, we've got the rest of today's very important World Cup action. We're featuring Scotland versus Spain, plus the goals from Northern Ireland against Finland and Wales versus Iceland. There's also skating. Karen Barber and Nikki Slater talking about the new routine that they'll be unveiling in the British Championships on Friday. Well, that's all at 10:45 tonight. As for England, it's another giant stride toward the World Cup finals, a magnificent 8-goal performance in Istanbul. Let's see if we can squeeze them all in one more time. Bye for now.